This side's complete. Let's go to the stator side. You can see this stator has been slotted a little bit to run advanced timing. That was an old school hot rod trick before they came out with adjusting stators. We're going to leave this one in the stock position though, because we don't want it detonating on this cheap California 91 gas. Okay, this flywheel looks okay. It has just a couple ding and rub marks in here, but I don't hear any magnets shaking around. We'll run it and see how it does. It should be fine. Well, I've been getting lucky for a long time. This one's not going to let me put it on the first try. There we go. Just a snug fit. Check that gap. 18 thousandths is what we like to see. And that looks perfect. We run it tighter than what the Yamaha service manual calls for, because once you port these things and they start spinning at a higher RPM, they'll start missing if this is not gapped closer than, what does the book say, 24, 25, 26, something like that. All right, he's done on this side. Time to put the top on. I like to make sure these are all seated and I can spin the clip in there. Make sure that it is seated all the way and these wrist pins aren't coming out. You don't want a clip coming out in your cylinder. That will mess the whole build up. Now we need to get these cylinders cleaned up. This is a very decent upgrade. These are stock reed cages with the backing taking off and dual stage pedals put on. These will work just fine. These ones seem to be just hand tightened in, which is fine. We'll snug them up after we get them all clean. I only hand tighten them in the Nickel cylinders. I will torque them down just a little bit in these, like 7 foot-pounds. Got the water plugs installed. They're dried. Just putting the head studs in for that Pro Design style head. Head studs are really easy. I did chase all these holes. We did repair a couple in this one. There you have it, all installed. Let's put these on the motor now. Get the rings opened up to where the dowel pins are. Squeeze them around those dowel pins. Slide the cylinder right over. I like rotating it around. Top dead center, just about. Again, line up the rings to the dowel pins. Close those rings off around the dowel pin. Put the cylinder up and over. There we go. This is a Pro Design cool head. This takes the longer studs. You have to pull the stock studs out and get the long Pro Design studs. This was one of the first cool heads on the market. They take a lot of O-rings. I like these heads. I don't like changing out the studs. So I usually don't run this kind of setup or sell this kind of setup. I like the one piece or the NOS style where you don't have to change out any of the studs. I think most of them now, you don't have to change out the studs. This is the only one left, and a copycatter on the market that makes the same one. Just grease up those O-rings, set them all in place. This head's a little bit easier to put together where I don't use the spark plugs to hold the domes. This head was very dirty. I had to clean it up. They had a ton of silicone because he had a leak. He had pulled 2 head studs and he was trying to glue it all together to stop the water leaks, not knowing that he had pulled head studs. You shouldn't have to use any silicone to seal these heads up with. Just gonna set these on here. Set this down over the top. Domes first. Line up the keys. Key slotted pieces. There you go. I like to double check that none of the O-rings have fallen out, so I'm going to thread a couple spark plugs in and take a look under the hood. All the O-rings are seated. That's good. You don't want them falling out of their grooves and pinching off, but that's what the grease is supposed to do. The grease is supposed to hold them all in place, but always double check, because when they pop out, you got to take the whole thing back apart. Yep, this head has the most O-rings of any head. Okay, here comes the
1211 3-bond. You can use copper washers if you like. I like the 3-bond. I don't like dealing with those copper washers. Replace them every time you use them. All those little O-rings around each stud are supposed to keep it from leaking, but that doesn't always happen. So you install those washers, or you use this 3-bond here. Put this water neck on. Just finishing up the intakes here. Put the reeds in. I put a little 3-bond, put the reeds. Gasket, little 3-bond. Just putting these on. A little bit of 3-bond helps them hold in place too. And then these aftermarket intakes, make sure you take them apart and 3-bond the inside of them. See how that is? Because they will leak. If you don't put a bead, when these are separated, put a bead on the inside of this rubber so that it will dry up against the aluminum. They will leak. They will leak right here at the top and right here at the bottom. Always glue it all in and then Loctite these. That is the tip of the day. If you put a little 3-bond on all the mating surfaces, you will not have an air leak. Okay, let's replace the kicker seal, and then we'll take a look at that water pump. Make sure that the impeller and bearing are good. Remember, all the seals just push in with your thumb most of the time. This one's the wrong one. Normal stuff. Aftermarket billet water pump there. We're just going to go inside, change the seal, check the bearing, make sure it's good. That's good, definitely. Yeah, that wasn't replaced too long ago. It feels brand new.